just because that she was 81 and she was older than, let's say, Robin, she still died ahead of her time.
I agree.
She had a lot of life to give, a lot of life. I mean, talking to her was like talking to a 25-year-old.
She was important for women.
Right.
Yes.
People, I don't know if they appreciate how historically important this woman was.
If she hadn't come first, there'd be no Lisa Lampanelli, no Kathy Griffin, no Chelsea Handler. Somebody has to break doors down. We wouldn't be bawdy and loud and edgy and able to say what we wanted to without the one who did it first, and she was the woman. That's the icon.
She really let us know what we could do as female comics, toe-to-toe, stand up with a man, one woman with a microphone. And I just want the world to know she was loved, she was respected, she was a mother, a mentor, a grandmother, but she was also a fierce, dynamic queen.
You have to have the mental strength and capability to hold that weapon still, and also the psychological cognitive development to understand what you're doing. Where's your brain, Dr. Drew? Pull it up. She's a 9-year-old girl.
The young child, pre-adolescent, just doesn't have that much function in that part of the brain, as Evie's suggesting.
As hard as this is for this little girl, they're going to have to put this gun back in her hand.
What?
They are going to have to do it. And that's right, and do it soon. Because the psychological trauma that is going to come from this for the rest of her life, if she does not master this and not realize that this was an accident and nothing more, she will be traumatized forever if they don't do this.
What we want to do for this family and for this child is to help her to reduce her symptoms of post-traumatic stress disorder, which she will almost very much definitely develop. How do we deal with that? We have to expose her to the environment that caused the trauma in the first place.
What's really important is that she is in therapy because of her feelings towards these people, towards her parents, towards the instructor, like frustration, anger, guilt, towards herself.
I think these individual neurobiological mechanisms to unhook some of the trauma and the memory of the trauma, it's back to the brain. It's a brain thing. And you guys are saying the same thing. You want to change her brain. You don't want to get a chronic PTSD set up. But this is controversial.
This type of behavior, sexting with multiple women, it gives you an idea of a person's soul, so to speak, and that seed of evil.
He's late 20s, early 30s. That's the perfect time for a psychotic break or something a little bit off to happen, especially in men.
I don't care what he's addicted to, Dr. Drew. He put his kid in that car and he left his kid to bake and die. That's all I care about.
We could split hairs on how much the addiction came to bear on this guy's behavior, but I actually agree with Deneen wholeheartedly. That, yes, and Jennifer, by inference, you as well. Right. in that it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It went so far as to take a life. That's how far this went. Whether it was premeditated, as Sam suspects, or whether there was a personality issue, as Emily suspects, or it was all addiction, or some combination of these things. It's time now for justice.
I was in 5th grade when I saw my mom's face like that. And my father was the one, when my father was the one saying, yeah, she deserved it. So I absolutely believe what Jason just said is absolutely the truth. We've got to get beyond their titles, MMA and porn star, and look at the fact that we've got a huge domestic violence issue right here in front of us. This is a man and a woman, and violence is no way to solve in a relationship. So how does it affect when you see your mother like that? It's absolutely unexplainable.
Certain personality styles kind of go together, and these two are sort of a classic example, you know what I'm saying? And those sorts of personalities can be very volatile together.
You defend yourself to a point, and then you leave. This is not defending. This is clear battery, as we're seeing in these pictures.
I don't care if you're tough or you know how to fight. If you touch a chick, you're done.
This young man was victimized 3 times. First, he was raped. Second, he was not told about a pregnancy. And then the third time, he was like, hey, you have a 6-year-old and you owe $15,000.
Wow. We have to talk about how many young boys see this as a rite of passage. And unfortunately, there are far too many young boys, 14, 15, 16, having sex with grown women, and they don't realize that these are predators and that they are being sexually abused.
Then they find a willing woman. They don't understand that that willing woman's got something wrong with her, that she would be willing.
That woman came for him. He doesn't realize that she groomed him, that she chose him.
This mother, this woman, her actions are deplorable and very devious. She waited till the statute of limitations ran out so that she could be concealed, that no charges could be pressed against her. Now she's going back and she's re-victimizing
this man. So one of the things about cases like this that gets my blood boiling a little bit as people will go, oh, this poor 15-year-old boy with a 20-year-old girl. I wish I were 15.
Right.
With a and the reality is that the outcomes on these young males are not good. Now, we don't really know, is it the fact that they were sexually abused that make the outcomes no good, or are these women picking males that are at risk? Either way, it doesn't make them better, that's for sure, and the outcomes are not good. So those of you that feel that, oh, we shouldn't feel too terrible for this 15-year-old boy, yeah, think again. It does traumatize them. It does traumatize these kids.